Welcome, wizards, to Unit 3 of Section 5 on Cultural Rites of Passage. A rite of passage marks a time when a person reaches a new and important change in his or her life. All societies recognize and often hold ceremonies for these rites of passages. These ceremonies are held to observe a person's entry into a new stage of life and can be anything from a high school graduation ceremony or a birthday party, a marriage, to a funeral. Most rites help people to understand their new roles in society. They can also help others learn to treat people in new ways after they experience certain rites of passage. Nearly all African cultures believe that the infant has come from the spirit world with important information from the world and is bringing unique talents and gifts. Indeed, a unique purpose, mission, message, or project to offer to the community, and thus a reason for celebration. The birth of a child is always a time of great rejoicing. It means that a couple was blessed and that the family units and the community are being perpetuated and strengthened. In many African communities, ritual festivities to celebrate the arrival of a child do not start until a few days after the birth in order to make sure that the baby is healthy. Only then will the rejoicing start. In fact, and more important, the child does not officially start existing until he or she has been named as part of his or her birth rites of passage, that is, the naming ceremony. According to the Muslim faith, these beautiful words, which call the Muslim community to prayer 5 times a day, are also the first words the Muslim baby will hear. The father or a family elder will whisper these words in the baby's ear shortly after its birth. To celebrate a child's birth, it is recommended that the father slaughter 1 or 2 animals, sheep or goats. 1/3 of the meat is given away to the poor, and the rest is shared in the community as a meal. Relatives, friends, and neighbors are thus invited to share in celebrating the happy event. This is traditionally done the 7th day after the child's birth. One of the very first duties that parents have towards a new child, besides physical care and love, is to give a child a meaningful Muslim name. Muslim children are usually named within 7 days of their birth. In Christianity, infant baptism is practiced. A popular name by which baptism is known is christening. As in other African cultures, the parents, godparents, relatives, and friends will be present for the joyous occasion. The parents and godparents make a promise to bring the child up in the Christian faith, and the godparents repeat vows on behalf of the baby. In this type of ceremony, water is used to symbolize washing away of sin. Often, a lighted candle is given to the godparents, standing for the idea that becoming a Christian is to leave the darkness of evil and come into the light of God. The sign of the cross is made on the baby's forehead. Hinduism has their own rites of passage and is named samskara. The first rite is done during the mother's pregnancy. This will secure and improve the health of the mother and unborn child. There is a prayer ceremony where the mother receives gifts from the family members and friends for the coming newborn. After the ceremony, a meal is served. The second ceremony is when the child is born and receives its name. Traditionally, the name would be decided around the 11th day after birth, but due to change in culture, Western hospitals demand a fully written birth certificate within few hours of birth. Now, the child's name is decided without an official ceremony, but many times the family will contact an astrologer or priest to check the horoscope to see what the name would be for the child. The next ceremony is the removal of the child's birth hair. In the ceremony, the child cuts his hair for the first time after 14 months of birth. Usually, when the soft spot in the skull of the child vanishes, the child cuts his hair. There is a prayer where the family and friends are invited. The main purpose of the ceremony is for purification, like the Christian baptism.